It's another episode of the Gary and Mark Show, and I'm Gary.
And I am Mark.
And we're coming to you. We're not live,
but
we're alive.
We're alive.
And we have a special guest.
We do.
Yes.
And before we introduce our special guest, he's special because of where we are recording today.
Well, that's just one of the reasons he's special.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's where I met him, where I met you.
That's right.
Tell us where that is, Gary.
We're on the tower at Camp Mondamin.
In
Tuxedo, North Carolina.
In
view of lovely Rabbit Island.
Rabbit
Island Resort.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can still catch that episode and get your own decal.
You could.
This guy may be like and get one.
Yeah, you could spend time there at Rabbit Island.
You could.
It'd be like a lifetime.
So
a day is like a lifetime at Rabbit Island.
I agree. Spent many lifetimes over there, it seems.
Yeah.
So introduce our guest, Gary.
Well, our guest today, I'm glad you asked him, Mark.
Okay.
That would be Scott Reed from Tupelo, Mississippi.
And
birthplace of Elvis.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to have to ask him about how many times you've seen Elvis.
Yeah.
I know he didn't live in Tupelo all his life, but
and
you've seen his birthplace.
13 years. 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, he did. Scott didn't see him born there because he's much younger than him.
No, but his mother worked for our family business for a while.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, people probably love to hear about Elvis more than our podcast, but they do want to hear about Scott. So tell us about what do you know about Scott?
Well, let's see. I know he was quite a good tennis player, and
that hurts.
Well, he's recovering from multiple surgeries. But
is that true? I didn't know that.
He has
8 surgeries in 8 years. Yeah, it's all mechanical. It's body falling apart. But
you say, how can you afford that? Well, that's because he's a financial advisor.
That's right.
And he's been a financial advisor. What? How many years you done that? 25, 30?
Started in 85.
Well, I know our listeners are all ages, but Gary's 70, 69, 71.
71 in August.
Oh, in August.
How about that?
I'm 68.
Yeah.
We could use some advice. So for people already our age
Yes.
that can't save any more money,
Right.
what advice would you give us for free? Free advice.
Free advice for somebody your age that hasn't saved any money and can't save any more.
I've got some, but I can't save any more.
Well,
I've saved up some.
Would you tell us to get another pillowcase to put some of it to
first of all,
diversify?
In that situation, prayer is good.
Prayer.
Because there's not a lot left to do. But so we can talk seriously about this crisis if you want to, but we can also not talk
down there.
seriously
It
about
looks like that guy's carrying a giant Swiss Army knife.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
It was a flotation device.
He's an Eagle Scout. He's ready. He's prepared.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so we're on a tower on a lake. That's why you
on
can see
the tower
that.
on a lake. Yeah, not only can we see Rabbit Island, we see things going on all around us.
Yeah, and normally there would be summer camp here with 200 kids running around.
That's right.
Camp Mondamin.
July and August in this place is nothing but active except for today.
Yeah, and so how many years were you here?
I was here maybe 7 years as a camper and 3 or 4 as a counselor. I found out this when I got a real job. I realized I couldn't take off for 3 months in the summer, like Bill Felder's doing, and just come here for 3 months. And Frank didn't want to sign a contract with me for 2 weeks. And then I found out if I called him and said, hey, can I come up for 2 weeks and work for free for room and board? He said, yeah. So for about 3 years after I quit coming, I would come up for 2 or 3 weeks in the summer and just work for free.
But you were here as a camper too, right?
I was here as a camper for 7 years.
So what were your years you were here?
I think I was 71 through 76.
Okay,
So
I was 71 through
77.
77.
6, maybe, 76.
As a camper?
As a camper, yeah.
So all my years as a counselor, you were a camper?
That's right.
You were the
Maybe
one
70.
always we would see in Chief's office being lectured to.
Probably so. Yeah.
I remember that.
But those lectures took. Look
at them.
They did. I looked at Chief's Jeep that he used to take Jeep rides in yesterday. It's still here.
Yeah.
And he put 6 kids in the back of that thing, which is illegal in 49 states now. It's crazy.
What's the one state that's not Mississippi?
Probably so.
So Scott's from Mississippi right now.
That's right.
Tupelo.
Born and raised.
You mentioned that.
Born and raised.
Where Elvis was born.
I would have left, but, they say that when you die most people go to heaven at an angle, but if you die in Tupelo, you go straight up.
Well, that's a nice thing to
Yeah.
think about.
So the route's up.
Straight up.
Oh,
yeah, it's the
okay.
shortest distance to heaven there is on earth.
Okay.
So,
That's what they say.
When were you last here? Did you
Well, I
visit
come
here?
back almost every year.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
and
I was chairman of the board of the foundation for
Yeah, okay.
from '93 to 2006 or so, something like that.
And the foundation raises money to help.
Kids that financially needy kids come to camp and enjoy the experience here, and every year, you know, there are 15 or 20 kids. What's amazing and what people don't know is that the Bell family, started this out of their own pocket for years and years. They just paid out of their own pocket to make sure that people had an opportunity to come to camp. And after Chief died in '93, people sent memorials in, and they didn't know exactly what to do with it. And so we started the foundation to help in that endeavor. And they still pick up a lot of the tab. But the foundation is now, you know, paying for 15 kids a year or so.
And so, I mean, Gary and I have talked. To me, this was a life-changing experience to me as a college student. Changed my entire life. And you would say the same. Would you say that?
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
It's my second home. It's my second family.
And so you have right now, you've got 2 kids? How many
Two kids, both went to Green Cove.
And they're both here
And,
today?
they're both here today. Yeah, we
So are
came
y'all
up-
staying in the cabin? Yeah, down
We
here in the
actually
cabin?
we're staying in the Gap, the doctor's cabin, which
Okay.
has got to be really a huge change of pace for doctors to come stay in that cabin, because it's got one window unit for a 2-bedroom. Yeah, it's tough, but it's camp and it's great, and we've got the camp to ourselves this week, which
What do
is
you do?
it's
I know.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is. It's a shame. And most camps are closed, but not all, but most are.
This one opened in 1922, and this is the first year they hadn't had campers.
And we've said this before. Camps have been around that long, but this camp is one of probably the only or few the same owners, same family.
There's, Paige Lamel, who was, I can't think of her before she was married, name will come to me. Paige Ives
Oh, yeah.
Lamel. That Camp Keystone, started in 1915, and
Wow.
it's still,
Still in the same family.
but I think and Greystone.
Yep.
Still
Really?
in the same family.
I didn't-
Libby Sevier Miller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great
But
to hear.
those 3, I think that's about it.
Wow. And, of course, a lot of camps over the years have closed, so
Yeah.
these have stuck it out.
Well, and the thing about this one, it always seemed different than a lot of camps. This was not a place to go to just have an experience and go home and talk about the experience you had. This was a place to go to learn how to have experiences. So a place to go to learn the skill sets that you can use for the rest of your life. And so if you go rafting down a river, that's great for a day, but you still don't know how to paddle a river by yourself. And when you leave here, you go hiking, you go rock climbing, you go horseback riding, you go paddling. We've had world championship paddlers come out of a non-competitive camp for decades because they teach you how to actually master a sport or an activity.
And the non-competitive part was what drew me to this camp, because you can look at me, I was no athlete. And so it was great that you could come here and kids could come here and learn something from scratch that they could continue the rest of their life. In other words, some camps, they have this huge camp sports program.
Right.
They play baseball and football and soccer, same things they do all year long. And this camp tried to get kids to do things they were not doing at home on a regular basis. So,
well, there's a book that I've started that I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish, but it's called The Non-Competitive Advantage. And it talks about how you really learn to you learn to master sports in a non-competitive atmosphere, because then everybody's trying to help everybody, as opposed to, I played tennis in high school. I was ranked #1 in the state my senior in high school, and I beat everybody in my district, and everybody thought that was good enough, and nobody tried to get me any better, because if you beat somebody, you beat them. It doesn't really matter how badly you beat them. You just need to beat them and go to the next thing. And then and so when I got to college and was playing, it was really a hurdle for me to try to get to that next level, because nobody really cared to help me get there in high school, because I was winning. And then you think about paddling here, and we didn't race anybody. It was non-competitive. And you go out there, in the first race I was in paddling, Fritz Haller and I came in third to Gordon Grant and John Burton, who came in first, and then the #3 team in the country came in second. We came in third. We had no idea we were any good. It was their first race.
And those are all well-known paddlers.
They are well-known paddlers, and they came from here.
Do you still paddle? I know you
I do. I've had a hard time because I've had 3 back surgeries in 3 years. So every time I get to about where I can paddle again, I go back under the knife. But Gordon and I paddled last year together. I try to get a couple in a year now, but not as much. I still own an outfitter company on the Locust Fork River in Alabama, and so we'll go take some trips out there every now and then.
You have an outfitting company?
Well, by accident. A
client of yours didn't pay up, and you just
a group with a lot of Mondamin folks went down to buy out. There was only one outfitter, and he was retiring from that life on the Locust Fork River, and we went down to buy some of his gear. And they called me and asked if I want anything. I said, I'd like a couple of duckies and maybe a couple of sit-on tops. That would be nice to have those. You can get them. And 5 hours later, he called me back and he said, good news, I got your boats. Bad news is we bought the business. And so you owe me more than for just – and so about 8 of us bought his business just so we could keep it going.
So it's going now?
Yeah, kind of. Mm-hmm. We're all getting older. It's not going as fast as it used to.
Well, you got 2 kids. They want to take it over?
No, they don't.
Where do they live? Where do they live now?
They're both in college. So they're both in the honors college at Ole Miss and having a good time and making good grades and doing well.
Well, we're not a political show, but how'd you feel about the flag changing in Mississippi?
Well, my dad was on the flag commission in 2002. That failed miserably to get the flag changed. He said he thought that he's been punished for unknown sins by being put on that committee. He was, we were threatened and shot at and all kinds of stuff. It was just crazy. I think it's sad that it took this long. It was great to see it actually finally happen. And my friends in government in Mississippi told me flat out, even the ones that wanted it changed said, we just don't have the votes to make it happen. And then the NCAA came in, and the SEC came in and said that we couldn't have any postseason games. And all of a sudden, when you get sports involved in it, it wasn't good enough for the people that we were losing business every year because of it. It wasn't good enough that concerts weren't coming to Mississippi because of it. When you start messing with our football teams,
Southeastern Conference, kind of like the Vatican.
Yeah.
Boy, you don't. Yeah, boom.
Did you go to Ole Miss? Where did you go?
No, it's Vandy. I went to Vandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commodore.
Back when you could get in. Yeah.
Well, I think that's all colleges, I'm telling you. There's no way I could get in where I went to now. No way.
I remember somebody stole my C1 at Vanderbilt one time, and I thought it must have been some fisherman that took it, and he's out on a lake trying to, every time he casts, he turns over. That made me laugh. But, I was there for 4 years, and then went to Ole Miss Graduate School for a bit.
In business or something else?
Business, yeah.
So tell us how you got into financial planning.
I was in our family business, clothing business, been around since 1905, and there were 12 family members in the business, and I took our net profit and divided it by 12 and said that wasn't going to work for some of us, and so and so I got into the business. I had some friends in the business, and I got in it, and I was going to move to Nashville, and the guy that hired me said he'd always wanted to open an office in Tupelo. Would I stay? And I said no. He said, please. I said no, and we argued about it, and I stayed and opened the first full-service brokerage firm in North Mississippi in 1985. There wasn't one between Jackson and Memphis. And then our team started consulting with institutions and doing a lot of fiduciary work, which brokerage firms hate for a good reason. They don't want people going out and taking on liability they don't have to take on. And we wanted to, and so we lifted our team out in 2006 and started our firm, Hardy Reid Consulting Firm. And we're a fiduciary consulting firm. We have clients in about 25 states. We handle about $1.5 billion.
That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, so it's worked out well. But we take on fiduciary liability for every client.
See, what I like about the cover, I'm holding that up, I thought it said the top 4 rules. Because I can handle 4 rules, but 40s, I mean, there's only 10 commandments.
Yeah. But,
so,
but
4 rules.
So my publisher, it was his idea, and it was he said, nobody reads. I started writing investment philosophy. I've had a financial column for 25 years or more. And back when I used to write about stuff that was happening in the market, I had at one time 5 compliance departments that had to okay it. And by the time they finished it, you couldn't say anything. I mean, you'd say, I think today, if you're young and you have some money, you should invest. They go, everybody shouldn't do that. You can't say that. So what could I say? Well, you could say maybe some people could invest if they thought it was the right thing to do. So I started writing about philosophy because they can't argue with my philosophy. And so that's how that started. But he wanted to write a book of investment philosophy because there aren't any out there. And he wanted every chapter to be 600 words or less. And so
I like that idea.
Yeah, so it's 40 rules, each one's 600 words. You can read the whole thing in an hour and a half.
Well, you can. I'm really slow.
So
and he's look on the. I think they should have put you on the cover, Scott, but he's on the back.
Nice picture.
Yeah,
nice
thank
picture.
you very much.
So, how do they get this? Our listeners, of which we have normally 7 or 8,
At least.
Yeah, so
you got 7 or 8 books right here. They could probably
first of all,
meet us this afternoon. Pick them up.
Independent bookstores around have them. And then, of course, Amazon. You can go
and
look it up.
I'll get the info from you, and we'll put it on the website too. When we
yeah,
post.
and I brought some extra books you can give away to readers if you want.
Well, we have a giveaway.
Do we have we have listeners? Now we have
listeners.
readers.
Well,
wow.
they might read it.
That'd be great.
If your listeners aren't readers, they won't want the book.
All right, we're going to invent a contest today. The
Yeah.
first person who responds gets a free copy.
Yes,
and they'll be signed. Which if they're not signed, they're about what $20.
Oh man!
But if they are signed, they drop to like
Then they're
12.
They're priceless.
They drop to about
they're
12.
priceless.
So the first one wins, and they don't even have to give us $30 for postage. We'll ship it. We'll pay the postage.
There you go.
And we'll enclose a Rabbit Island sticker
And a GMPU.
and a GNMPU sticker. Dang,
That's going to be a grand prize.
they're listening now.
The last prize we gave away was just some advice, I think.
Well, and
This
honestly, I'm just trying to suck up to y'all so you'll make me the dean of the School of Finance.
Well, we're considering
Let's vote on that. We don't have a quorum,
right.
but if we did.
Let's vote.
Okay.
All right. We are.
There
Have
you
we
go.
voted yet?
It's overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Landslide.
So,
The dean of our, what's his exact title?
we got to write that down so we put it on the website.
Yeah.
Dean of
School of Finance?
School of Finance.
Finance.
We need a School of Finance.
We do.
And we're going to let Dee Dee be in
Dang.
charge of guarding the money there, too.
There you go.
All right. So, all right.
Things are
Congratulations.
looking up.
Well, this is what I'll say about the School of Finance. It'll be different because every school I know teaches people how to gamble in the investment world. Nobody teaches them how to invest. They have the stock market game, have all this stuff about how to buy stocks and sell stocks, and nobody teaches you how to actually invest money. 85% of our business is people that don't have a fiduciary obligation to their clients and aren't required to put their interest above their own, who aren't required to manage costs and aren't required to have ongoing due diligence of the things that they recommend. 85% of our business. They're not bad people. They're just selling products, right? Mm-hmm. But no one knows that because everybody wants to act like they're not selling product. And so people get very confused. So this is going to be a different School of Finance. It's going to be boring.
So you're the kind of, if for somebody like me who barely got through basic business course, but I was taught at an early age, don't spend more than you have, and you better put something aside.
That's always good advice.
Well,
Two good things.
yeah,
Are those 2 of your rules or no?
live within your
No.
means.
That's 42. You can have a part 2 of this book.
But you kind of are the ones that come in that help folks.
Right.
You're the ones that go, actually, this is pretty good. This one's not so good. This one's
Well, so I'll tell you two things, the two basic premises of what we do. Our mission is to have a conflict of interest-free environment for clients. Once you do that, it makes it a lot easier to do our business. The two things that informed what we did, there was a study in 1991 that looked at how people actually get their returns over time. They found out the shortcut. 5% was security selection. 2% was market timing. And 93% was how your money was allocated between different asset classes. And in 1991, I didn't know anybody in the business had a clue how their clients' money was allocated between asset classes. And so we started doing that. And then we combined that with this crazy idea that you should do what's in the best interest of the client at all times. And you put those two together, and it's a pretty powerful thing. But the sad part of it is that when you take into account the duly registered and all these other people, there are only about 7% of our business that actually does that. And the rest of it is selling some kind of product to somebody. And that's where the whole business is. It really having issues. It's not bad people doing bad things. it's really a bad business model that hides the fact that people are selling product instead of doing what's in your best interest. That's the hard part about it. When you get paid to move money around, you always want to move money around, right? Even if it's not the right thing to do, because telling somebody they need to stay pat means I don't get paid today. Mm-hmm. That's a hard thing to say. Well, and the other part about it is people normally, when they get paid by the product, they get paid by our industry is very good at hiding how they get paid, and so they'll just take money out of the investment return and pay themselves. So you can get when you talk about annuities, somebody told me once I was on a panel and they said, I've heard you speak before, you hate annuities. I said, no, I don't hate annuities at all. I think they're the perfect investment for about 10% of the people that own them. It's the other 90% that it's not really right for, because they're really easy to sell, they sound great, and it's the highest commission thing in our business. And so I did a talk to Merrill Lynch. I don't know why they asked me to do a talk to them.
I'm impressed.
I talked to their Advanced Broker Conference, National Advanced Broker Conference 2 years in a row.
Was the bull there?
The bull was there.
He was either.
And I, just as an example, I took $100,000 that somebody came in and wanted to put into an income-producing investment. I said, well, let's look at 3 income-producing investments. Let's look at a 5-year CD. Let's look at Class A share mutual fund, bond fund that you kept for 5 years. And let's look at an annuity that you kept, a variable annuity that paid income out you kept for 5 years. The CD paid the broker about $400. The bond fund paid the broker about $3,250. And the annuity could, depending on one of the 15 different ways you could have that paid out, would pay about $13,000. And now which one's right for the client? The one that pays them $400, $3,250, or $13,000? It's an impossible decision to make. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad person. You put that in front of anybody and they go, well, I'd really like that $13,000 one, but I'll probably do the $3,250 because I'm sure not doing the $400 because that's just not enough money for me. It's a terrible way to make a decision.
So, do you ever have, not your kids,
but
like ever have 22-year-olds come to you and say, can you help me? Or
yes.
Do they wait till they're 50?
No, and I've had one of the first people that read this book called me and then wanted to come visit and came to my house to visit, and it's really, and that's the thing, you just get started doing the right thing, and it's called getting rich slowly.
That could be an incentive, like you read his book and then you get to go stay at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be great. That'd be great. I think both people have.
So before you went into this business, did you do any other type work before you went into financial?
Well, I was in the clothing business. I went through the Hart Shafter Marks training program in Houston, Texas, and then I was there for a year and came back and worked in my family business for 5 years, and then went into this business. But and then I was up here as much as I could between college and real work. My dad kind of called me out of the woods and told me I'd been offered a job. I'm pretty sure he paid somebody to offer me a job because I hadn't applied for one, so it's hard for me to believe they really picked me. But anyway, he got me out in the real world. If not, I might have been paddling here for the rest of my life. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Except you can't make any money.
You can't make any money doing that.
But you could work as a camp counselor when they're having camp.
Well, but that's not all bad. Gordon Grant said one of his favorite quotes is that at either end of the economic spectrum lies the leisure class.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
I like that,
too. Yeah. So you're also a musician.
I am.
Were you playing guitar when you came here as a camper?
I was. I did a lot of the assemblies.
Okay.
Well, as a camper, not as much as a camper. I picked it up in probably junior high school or so, and started playing a little bit in high school and really started playing in college. So when I was here as a counselor, I did a lot of the assemblies.
Of course, the first summer you say you were here as a camper, 71, that was Mark's first summer, and he was a counselor. And, of course, what we always chuckled about, Mark brought his organ.
That's right.
To camp. And
that's right.
We used to have these.
This is a bad story, I can tell you right now.
No, we used to have.
Children should leave the room. All I can say.
Make those announcements. If people stomped too hard in the lounge, it would. We
mess
would
up my organ or something. It wouldn't work.
It would talk about it would mess up Mark's organ, and Jack Kinnemer would just fall apart in a.
I learned
Just
quickly.
fall apart in
I
his
learned
chair.
quickly not to bring that organ back
Yeah.
ever again. Okay.
Do you remember Norval Rose?
Yeah.
He did the letter, which became iconic here, and is
I remember.
it is, our band plays at it every gig.
So your band is called 2 Drink Minimum.
2 Drink Minimum. We started out as 3 Drink Minimum, and then we got better. Our goal is to be drink if you feel like it.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in your band when it's at full staff. That's huge. It's like a big band.
It is. It is. Well, it's really a lazy band. We've got. We did that. We have 4 lead singers because we don't like to practice, and
I know that.
and everybody already kind of knew their stuff. And then if we could switch off a lot, we could go a long period of time without having to take a lot of breaks. And so we got 4 lead singers, and we just kind of rotate around during the whole night.
And so I had the fortune of hearing a garage concert during the beginning days of this pandemic, I think. That was neat.
Yeah.
That's some good music.
That was 3 of us. We do an acoustic version. We have an acoustic album that was kind of back porch music, which is kind of, it's called Mostly Live and, what's it called? It's Almost Live and Mostly Covered, because it's about half of them are original songs, the other half are covers. And we did this live thing where there are a lot of flaws in it, but we did like one take on a lot of songs and things like that. And we ended up in the studio, but it's a long story. But our engineer ran off with the band and took our masters. So the only thing we had left was his last mix, which had a lot of flaws in it because we weren't done yet. And that was all we had left. And so we took it and did our best to try to fix it. And then we liked a lot of the songs, so we just left them in.
So where's that engineer now that ran away?
I don't know. He's with a band somewhere. I saw something about him a couple of years ago, but he doesn't answer my phone calls.
So do you guys play private parties, or what do you when you're
In
able
public,
to play?
we do. The big group does.
Y'all did a
festivals
fundraiser. Seems like.
Yeah, that was a fundraiser on YouTube.
Well, we did
Facebook,
that.
Facebook,
That was
it was.
3 of us. The 3 of us. We'll do 2 or 3 of us will do acoustic stuff sometimes, but the big band does. We do festivals and stuff and weddings and bar mitzvahs and whatever.
Well, that's fun.
Whatever, but it's but we did we played at Ground Zero for a fundraiser. Morgan Freeman's place down in the Delta. That was fun.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and everybody gets to sign the stage, and I signed right next to Eric Clapton. I felt pretty good about that.
I would, yeah.
That was fun. But and Burger Fest and Chili Fest and anything that says Fest on it. We
Is
do
this
some
in
of those.
your town? I mean, or other
No, it's all
places?
over. You can look at our shirt. We've been
Follow the burgers. Follow the chili.
Now there are 2 things on our shirt that are pretty impressive, which is
Yeah, hold that shirt up towards the camera.
well,
there.
that's our world tour.
World tour.
And it says mostly around here.
Most around here.
And it says our motto is we made it longer than the Beatles. The Beatles made it 7 years, and then we're in our 10th year, so that's good. But we got Marseille, France, in New York, and a lot of people say, "Did you really play Marseille, France?" And I'd say, "Yeah, kind of." So this is the deal. I'd always wanted to. A song I love is "Coast of Marseille" by Keith Sykes. And I was in Marseille, and I was going back to the port, and there was a guy, a street musician, with a guitar, and I figured that was my chance. So I went up to him and asked if I could borrow his guitar, and I played Coast of Marseille.
Well,
And so I counted it.
That counts.
Yeah,
I had the same kind of thing, David Holt, you may not know who he is, but he's an Americana musician.
Yeah.
Lives in Nashville area.
Right.
But I was the world's worst banjo player, and I played just 3-piece string band, and I was just there for my looks because I was terrible. But we got to play at a fundraiser just at someone's house one time, and I just said, could we sit in with you on one song? So that's what I got to do. My one song I had memorized, which was like I'll Fly Away or something like that. But I did have a beer one time with, oh my gosh, Don's name has this big band, Earl.
Scruggs?
No, not Earl Scruggs. Comes to Asheville all the time. I cannot believe I'm bringing. When I say it's a big band, like a 10-piece band, I'll come back to it.
Back to David.
Well, you're
Holt.
still playing piano, though, right?
The keyboard. But I actually just retired because my clients were the over 90 crowd.
Yeah,
90% of what I did were retirement homes. But the good part about that was their hearing's not good.
No.
Right.
and I had to sing so I could get by with, and I had a box to help keep me in pitch.
Right.
But the memory was such that I could play the same song 3 or 4 times in the same set, and they wouldn't really care.
Perfect.
Yeah, they'd throw
perfect.
things at me, and you know.
And they'd be hauling people off during the concert.
Well, so unfortunately,
wrap it up, Mark. We're down to 2 now.
Well, I'll after off mic, I'll have to tell you a true thing.
Oh, yeah. But hey, I got it. David Holt was Townsend Birdsong, Townsend Williams Birdsong, Camp High Rocks. She went to Warren Wilson, and David Holt was her banjo instructor at Warren Wilson.
Goodness. Neat guy.
You know, one time he lived, seemed like next door to Janis Joplin in San Francisco. He's got some stories.
He does. He's a good musician.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're going to do? So for our listeners, we're going to take a short break in just a second.
So that our listeners can go pee.
Yeah, but actually you will be start turning things off. So listeners are only going to have like 5 seconds here.
Yeah.
So, but they might want to push
Well, they
pause.
may have they may have bought your implement.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like my organ. I don't want to see it. It's probably stiffer than my organ, though, right?
Nothing I have this year. Anyway.
Play a tune on it. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back after 2 or 3 songs because we're going to come up with end the show with a contest way for someone to earn this free copy of this book.
Okay,
Scott Reed.
All right, and I can give some CDs away too.
Man, he's got everything for us. So we're going to take a quick break. We don't want anybody to go away. We'll be right back. Now, we are back. So we're here. So we're going to have Scott Reed's going to perform on the guitar and vocals. But Gary, our own Gary Evelyn, is going to be playing some harmonica. And you'll be impressed. And so you guys, you just take it away.
And there you go. You'll be impressed. You want to do that?
I'm impressed.
You want to do the blues song?
Anything that I have a key in that I might.
Do you have E? You have E.
Let's see. D. That's E. I got E.
Well, see, I know a bunch of E stuff because Elvis always played in E.
All right.
But this is a Delbert McClinton song. A blues song about somebody who just didn't have that good a relationship. It just didn't start off well, and it didn't end well, but at the end of the day he realized he was better off without her, and it goes something like this. Well, since you've been gone, I've had time to myself. Hadn't even tried to find somebody else. When you told me you were leaving, it almost came as good news. It may sound funny, but it's true. I think I'm better off with the blues. Well, I must admit, I miss you sometimes. Not a day goes by that you don't cross my mind. But then I think about all the hell you put me through. It was a lesser of 2 evils. I think I'm better off with the blues. I know one day I'm gonna wake up, these blues will be gone. I'll forget about you and how everything went wrong. But if I would have stayed, I'd be dead in my tracks now. I still love you, baby, but I don't want you back, 'cause tonight I'm going down to the sad side of town. I'll listen to the blues when the sun goes down, and when somebody asks me, I know just what to say about you. I say, yes, we had some good times, but think I'm better off with the blues. I know one day I'm gonna wake up, these blues will be gone. I'll forget about you and how everything went wrong. If I would have stayed, I'd be dead in my tracks now. I still love you, baby, but I don't want you back, 'cause tonight I'm going down to the sad side of town. I listen to the blues when the sun goes down, and when somebody asks me, I know just what to say about you. I say, yes, we had some good times, but think I'm better off with the blues. Take it, Gary. I still love you, baby, but I don't want you back, 'cause tonight I'm going down to the sad side of town. Listen to the blues when the sun goes down, and when somebody asks me, I know just what to say about you. I say, yes, we had some good times, but think think I'm better off with the blues. Well, we must have had some good times, but I think I'm better off with the blues. Well, we had to have some good times, but I think I'm better off with the blues. There you go.
All right. That was incredible.
The blues.
All right. Wow. What's next?
You want, as I heard Jackson Brown say one time, do you want, I can play something soft and melancholy or sad, but laced with hope.
I always like to lace with hope.
Yeah.
But, you know, Gary, we could get him to do 12 songs, and we can make our own CD.
There you go.
Make more money than
Find that engineer who.
because we don't have money for the show. People can donate now at www.garyandmark.com. But
There you go.
and some people do. You know our lawyer,
top
Joe Clark,
40
right?
Yes, I know Joe very
he's
well.
a donor to the
The
show.
top 40 rules
Top 40 rules.
for sending money.
You
to
got a
Gary
D.
Mark.
You got a D, don't you?
I do. I have a D.
You want to play a kind of a, how about a Jimmy Buffett ballad in D?
Well, let's try that. See what happens.
All right, let's do, let's see, which one's in D? How about, this one's called The Captain and the Kid.
Captain and the Kid.
You know that one?
Pretty schmaltzy. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You,
Yeah, that's
you
good.
don't, we don't have to play it. We can play something
No,
else.
That's good. That's good.
I see you're excited.
I'm slow and I can only hit about 4 notes.
We'll just do the little filler part there.
I'll just do that.
This is
Tiny.
Buffett wrote this about his
hamburger.
grandfather, and he was being interviewed by I don't know. She sounded like she was probably a 13-year-old girl or so, and she said, "You've only played this song 6 times." And he went, "No, I've played it more than that." She said, "No, 6 times," and he said, "Oh, you probably got bad information. It's more than that." She said, "No, it's 6 times. You played Cowboy in the Jungle 98 times, and you've only played this one 6. Why?" He said, I you know, it's an emotional song. I don't know. I'm just happy to play it for a 7th time today. And he played it. But a song about his grandfather.
Yeah.
Never used to miss a chance to climb upon his knee. Listen to the many tales of life upon the sea. Go sailing back on barkentine. Talk of things he did. Tomorrow is just a day away for the captain and the kid. His life has gone from sailing ships to raking mom's backyard. He never could adjust to land, though he tried so hard. Both growing older then, wiser with our years. As I came to understand the course his heart still steers. He died about a month ago while winter filled the air. And though I cried, I was so proud to love a man so rare. He's somewhere on the ocean now, a place he ought to be. With one hand on the starboard rail, he's just waving back at me. 'Cause I never used to miss a chance to climb upon his knee and listen to the many tales of life upon the sea. Go sailing back on barkentine and talk of things he did. The world was just a day away for the captain and the kid. For the captain and this kid.
Wow.
There you go.
I got to hear another one. Man, we can do this all day.
How about let's see, you don't have a G.
I ain't got no. My G went bad on me.
This
I ain't
is
got
a.
no-
I'll do this one, and then you can cut it if you want to or not. But this was talking about Buffett. Buffett said one day, I was listening to him interviewed, and they were talking about a song he wrote called "Little Miss Magic" about his daughter, and they asked why he wrote it, and he said because if you are a songwriter and you have girls, and you don't write a song about them, you will go to hell. It wasn't you might go to hell, or you know you will. And I had 2 girls at the time, and I thought I better get started on something. So I wrote this one that afternoon, so I could avoid going to hell.
So you wrote this song?
Yeah, this one.
What's
This
the
one
name
is,
of it?
Little Girls Like These.
I love it.
This is on one of these. Isn't this on one of these?
It is on the first
Yeah,
album.
yeah.
You remember that?
Well, I do. I
Both
listen.
my little girls that go.
What key you?
It's in G.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Should have brought
Good,
my
I
harmonicas.
listen. And somehow some people had a cross harmony, which there's a cross key for it.
Fingers Taylor, I got a chance to play some songs with him at a car shop one day. He's one of the best harmonica players. He was Buffett's harmonica player. And I said, and he had one sitting in his pocket, and I said, let's play something. He said, okay. I said, what key do you have? What key is your harmonica? And he said, it doesn't matter. You just play whatever you want to. I'll play this one.
Yeah.
Which
If I can
is
find it. You go ahead.
he's a lot better harmonica player than I am, if you can
Well,
say
yeah.
that. Watch my little girls, they go round and round where no one knows, and I can't catch them till they fall asleep. Then I look into their faces, sing their amazing graces. Serenity transcends this place that once was mine. Now I know the way God must have felt the day He made little girls like these. Made little girls like these. And I see them growing older, and Father Time has grasped my shoulder. He's taken me through all these years at much too fast a pace, waking up another day to talk of boys and football games just makes me want to hold on tight, 'cause I can feel them slipping away. Now I know the way God must have felt the day He made little girls like these. Made little girls like these. And I see them coming to me, dressed in white with something blue mixed in. And the preacher asks who gives them away, but I can hardly hear myself say, now I know the way God must have felt the day He made little girls like these. Made little girls like these. Made little girls like these.
Wow.
You figured out the harmonica.
Well, I hit like 1 or 2 notes.
That was good.
Oh,
That was
this is
that was
like
better
that.
than good. That was gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
So you want to do one more harmonica and y'all work out which one, or do you?
Well, I mean, I'm game.
Yeah, I think you need to do one more, Gary.
Do we?
See,
You know what's going to happen? Like later tonight we're going to go, oh, wait, why didn't we?
So I just want people to know, Scott. So
Yeah.
as you're playing here and Gary's not playing, he's looking at just like a teenager, looking at his phone or whatever. Yeah. And he's on video. He's on video here. So people are going to say, why is he not?
Why is he? Because he's
I'm off camera. I can be doing
attention
anything.
deficit.
So we have Gary Eblin and Scott
his
Reed for one
poison
more
ivy.
song. So what key did you get there?
Oh, I've got
Let's do another E. How's
E. E. E.
Let's
This is
do.
great.
Hey,
We are in for a treat.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do an homage to Elvis.
Oh,
Let's do the first song of rock and roll.
Which would
A,
be?
C, D. Is that my E?
Well, it's not. Sue's my baby. It's not that one.
Not that one.
No, that's all right, Mama.
So you guys need to remember that Scott Reed here is from Tupelo, Mississippi,
That's right.
birthplace of Elvis Presley.
That's right. I was just out there the other day.
So where are you living now?
Tupelo.
You're still in Tupelo.
I'm
that's
in
what I
Tupelo,
thought.
man. I left and kept coming back.
And so
for
what's
some
the
reason.
population?
Population of Tupelo is about 40,000, but during the day we're about 90,000 because we have a lot of bedroom communities, and we're the second biggest tax receipt area in the state, or third depending on how the coast is doing. But our market area is about 350,000.
Wow.
We've got the largest non-metropolitan hospital in the country. We've got our own symphony orchestra. We got 75 Fortune 500 companies here. We're cooking.
You sound like you're cooking.
We're cooking. We're about 90 miles southeast of Memphis. So if you come to Memphis,
Okay, now I
go
know
to
exactly
Graceland, come down to see Elvis's birthplace.
And you were out here. It's right now. Of course, he's in Mississippi. It's pretty hot sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
And
it's
we're- but boy,
August.
right here, August 1, and the breeze is coming through on this
I'm
lake. It
telling you.
feels good.
I feel like the guy who said the guy that lived in Key Largo and said he moved up to Orlando once but came back because it was too cold there. It's
heard-
nice and cool up here.
It feels good right now.
Yeah, we're at 95 with about 104 heat index.
Oh, yeah, where
right
I am.
now.
I'm down the mountain here about
Yeah.
25 minutes, and this drops 2,000 feet or
Yeah.
1,000 feet elevation.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have one more song from
So
Scott
if it's
Reed.
an Elvis thing, it's August, and it's going to be August is it was 43 years ago,
That's right.
1977.
So this is a true story about camping. I'm not proud of it. I've been a counterpuncher all my life. I don't start fights. I try not to. I try not to get beat up either. I try to protect myself. I've never aggressively started something, but I'd been out in the woods August 16th of that year, 77, and I came in and I got off the bus, and some kid came up and said, "Hey, did you hear Elvis died?" I went, "What?" He said, "Yeah, he was a druggie. He died of drug overdose, and I hit him." Hey, you don't talk about Elvis that way.
That's right. You
right.
know the kid's name.
I don't have any idea.
Good,
Hey,
good.
we should have never said that to me. That was the one thing you can't say to me. 'Cause
Now all of a sudden we've got some wind noise.
Well,
Can
you
hear
know-
that in your headphones.
Yeah.
And Mark and I were on a hike to find Dismal Falls, which we didn't find. A 2-night overnight. We got picked up off old 281 near Owens Gap, and it was Dick Jordan who said, "Did you hear the news? Elvis died."
That's right.
We didn't know.
We did not know.
Dick Jordan.
All right, we're going to have one more song
All right.
from Scott Reed, 2-drink minimum band out of Tupelo, Mississippi, and Gary Eblin, the other half of the Gary and Mark show, better half.
That's all right, Mama. That's all right for sure. That's all right, Mama. You can do anything you want, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. Mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Boy, that girl you're hanging around, she ain't no good for you, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. Well, I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'm leaving town for sure. Leaving town tomorrow, don't be hanging around my door, 'cause that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama, any way you do. You want it, Gary? All right, we're going. Well, dee, 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 dee. But that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. 'Cause I'm leaving town tomorrow. Leaving town for sure. Coming to camp. Leaving town tomorrow. Don't be hanging around my door. 'Cause that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. Well, that's all right now, Mama. Any way you do.
All right, we're going to take a break here while we get ready for our little last bit of the podcast.
What? There's more?
There's more. There's Gary. So we are back here after taking another little break to reset things, making sure I had forgot to turn that camera around first on the little screen so I could see if I was in it or not. But want to thank again our guest, Scott Reed. And we got something, Gary, that we often do. And he's already been officially appointed Dean of the new School of Finance for the Gary and Mark Podcasting University, but you can't be Dean without being a graduate.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you so much.
Well, so we are presenting you. I let Gary make this presentation. Okay.
The BS in podcasting.
I love it.
Scott Reed.
Oh, it's got my name on it. That's great. It's not written in either.
No, and it's kind of framed. It's framed
this is
in
personalized in a very attractive vinyl enclosure.
That's right. And I even put a piece of stiff paper.
Suitable for framing.
You're traveling,
It's got a stiffener in there. We can all use that.
I'm going to frame it. There's no doubt.
And then he's got,
I know. You got all our swag, all our merch.
have. Our merch you can only display. Your merch we can wear.
Well, you can wear that.
You could wear that. That'll go in a special place, I'm sure.
This is beautiful.
Extra honors too. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it is honorary BS with extra honors. It's beautiful. I'm going to cry.
Well, you should.
Well,
okay. So, like your music, it kind of helped. More than make me cry a little bit.
Yeah,
it was great. I mean, we could make our own DVD or CD of his music and make plenty of money.
You can make $1.
So we are going to have a contest. We may have to think about it, but if you're interested in this book, okay, from Scott Reed, Top 40 Rules of Investing. It is a bestseller.
Yeah,
it is a great book. He said short chapters. You heard that, easy to read, great advice. You need
going to be signed.
That's right. We'll say that the first person who emails us after hearing this podcast at GaryandMarkShow@gmail.com, GaryandMarkShow@gmail.com, will get a copy of this autographed book sent your way.
Sounds good.
And you can find his books. We'll put that on our website and his CDs, too. He's got 2 CDs.
That's right.
And merch, other merch.
And merch.
Hats, T-shirts.
Merch.
This guy he is not cheap.
Well, that's why he's the Dean of Finance.
And
that's right.
We need financing, and you've heard about the Gary Mark Podcast University. That's why you want
Absolutely.
Now. Right. And this is August 1 is time you need to sign up. And our university, as Scott probably knows, we were doing distance learning before it even came about.
Yeah, we were the tip of the spear on distance.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I think they got the idea from us when COVID-19 came and said, who are the trendsetters in education?
That's right.
Yeah.
How can we do it off campus?
Who is doing this around the country now the right way?
And
they found you.
They found us.
Yes.
Yeah. And we didn't get any credit.
Well,
some credit.
But see, if you got friends.
And we have friends.
We have friends.
So we want to thank our good friend from many years. I met him apparently in 1971, same year I met Gary.
Say this, we joke around a lot. I say this sincerely. You two people are two of the important people in my life forever. I mean, it's like coming home to see both y'all. I see him every now and then. I don't see you as much.
I told Gary, I haven't seen you. I don't think I've seen you since camp. Yeah. Although I came to the 50th reunion. Maybe you were here then.
I was there.
And that may have been the last time. I mean, I've been to camp, but not much.
I know, but y'all are so important to me. It's that way.
We like being told we're important, don't we?
We do. Well, this is episode number 36, Gary.
And see, it's nice. He's a little bit younger than us, but
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
That's true. How old would you be? 42?
I am. I'm 62.
You are
in
not.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look great, even with all those fancy parts.
Well, thanks.
They
I
don't even
appreciate
look
that.
like.
Yeah, I've got a lot of new parts.
New parts.
Yeah, but I'm still going.
Gary's got a new
Just one part.
Yep.
hip. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we want to thank our sponsors real quick.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't been out. Yeah, well I see
and
one right
they're
now.
Rabbit Island Resorts. The planes are coming in pretty regularly.
And Scott's got a
And the-
decal from
Yeah,
Rabbit
Rabbit
Island.
Island Resorts.
That's
Big
right.
Whiz Pocket Buddy.
Big Whiz Pocket
Nobody's
Buddy.
had to use one of those in a while, but that's why we have the Little Buddy. I can't remember the name.
I think it was Little Buddy.
Little
or,
Whiz.
He was
Something like that, yeah.
Little, yeah.
And we got the Saluda Outfitters.
Saluda Outfitters in Saluda.
Right, and we have not been there in months.
No, we haven't.
We need to go, Gary.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll before we get to episode 40.
And
we'll
then
go
the
back.
White Dove.
L.J. Myers.
L.J. Myers White Dove releases.
Yep. And
Don't get them confused and take them out to the range where they're shooting skeet. That would be a.
That would be. He would not be happy. He would not be happy.
That would be bad.
Well, this has been another great episode.
Oh,
Fun having Scott here.
yeah.
Nice to be here.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gary.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow us, all that kind of good stuff. Tell people about us.
Yep.
Stay tuned for the next episode.
Meet us on the tower.
Meet us on the tower. We'll see you in the next episode.